there, Christopher L. here. To start this video off, I want to say yes, I am driving while videoing. I live on the wild side. This is my dangerous moment. However, it's not all that dangerous. If you could see the road that I'm actually driving on and see the speed and all that stuff, I think you'd be less concerned. Anyways, I want to talk to you guys about this idea that Christians don't think for themselves. It really busts me up because I get these comments all the time from people who think, oh, well, you don't want to think, you want to stick your head in the sand, blah, 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 blah. The whole key to Christianity is to continue thinking. Paul tells us to test everything and keep what is good. The Bible tells us to reason. You can't reason without thinking. Jesus tells us to be wise as serpents, but innocent as doves. You can't be wise if you're not thinking. The whole problem that atheists and others have with us thinking this way, through Christ, is that the lines are set by God, and they don't like that. Let's face it, we can all think for ourselves, but without God, where's the line drawn? Well, we just draw it ourselves. So what does that mean? It means that for some guys, it's okay to do what they want to do because they want to do it, and they think that it's the best thing to do. Whether it's making money at the expense of others, or maybe it's having an affair with that hot little secretary in the office, or maybe it's the decision to get just a little more drunk this weekend. Whatever the decision may be, if you're not filtering it through Christ and you don't have an established moral guideline to follow, you're going to do things that in the eyes of God are sinful. Maybe that's where people disagree, because in the eyes of God, there is no room for thieves and adulterers and homosexuals and liars and cheats and rapists and molesters. But in the world of man, there's plenty of room for that stuff. And we can say otherwise. We can say, well, there's some things like molestation, we don't approve of it. True, we don't, but yet it's happening. And it's happening all over the place. Do you think those guys consulted Jesus before they decided to touch little kids? I don't. What about guys like Herman Cain? I'm sure that he's going to tell you he's a confessed Christian, and yet he's got more women jumping out saying that he's a dog than any other guy we've seen in years. I don't remember it being this bad since Bill Clinton. So you tell me, guys, do you really think Christians don't think? Because I know I do. When I'm faced with a situation, I think about it. And I think, hey, maybe I'd like to do that. That looks like fun. But then I consult my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I say to myself, the old question which everybody hates to hear, the old cliche, what would Jesus do? And you know what? That's not such a bad thing. To look at Jesus and say, what would he do? And then to follow what he would do. How can you say that's wrong? It leads to a better life. It leads to righteousness, and it leads to morality. And yet, you guys just want to say, well, you're just not thinking for yourself. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm not, but I think I am. And in the long run, I'd rather have a world following Jesus Christ than following their own personal desires. Maybe you guys can't put this together, but usually the personal desires of a man are going to stomp on the personal rights of another. And that's just the bottom line. We all have a right to our own opinions. But it's really stupid and insulting to say that Christians don't think for themselves. In the minds of men, anything can go. It all depends on whether or not he can justify and rationalize his decision. Think, people, think. Well, at this point, I think it's time for me to say goodbye. So until next time, happy Jesus Day, God bless and peace out. And keep thinking. Yeah.